So this morning I was on a call and I jumped off and checked my emails as I normally do, and another person had enrolled into the Lifestyle Business Academy. With the changes that I've been making over the last few months, more and more of these fully automated sales are happening. And you can see the other videos on my channel about how that's all playing out. But what I like to do when someone new enrolls, and there's a few reasons for doing this, is follow the paper trail back to find out, one, where they came from, and two, from the data that I've got based on my system, what journey did they take in order to ultimately become a client, and what was the timeline of all of that. I do this for a couple of reasons. One, I find it really interesting. Two, there can be some amazing data that we can pick up in terms of the pathway that someone takes, because if that pathway worked for one person, we can re-engineer that for more people. The things that grabbed their attention initially, reactivated and grabbed them again if maybe there was a gap, and then the email or the piece of content that ultimately got them over the line or to reach out. All of these things can give us so much good data that we can then feed back into our business. We can feed back into our emails, into our ads, into our content, into our offers, to simply engineer more of that. Okay. And so the reason I wanted to film a quick video today was because I think there's this misconception that every lead should be buying really, really quickly, and that if someone doesn't buy now, today, immediately, in the next couple of days, that there's something wrong. And that in order to get people to buy, you have to use all these kind of crazy tactics. You have to twist people's arms. A lot of the work that I do with clients is like talking them off the ledge of burning stuff down too soon. And I fundamentally believe that a lot of people just need to relax, keep putting your message out there, keep sharing your value, keep inviting people to take that next step, because we're firmly in a market where not only do people not respond to feeling like they're being coerced, but they run the other way. We're in a market now where people want time to consume, to learn, to listen, to test your stuff out, all these kind of things. And you've got two options. You either engineer an ecosystem that encourages that, or you engineer an ecosystem that goes against that. And unless you lean into this now, I think it's going to be really, really challenging. Okay. And so the reason I wanted to film a quick video, because this is a great example of what can happen. Right now, some leads move faster, some take even longer than this. But I think this is such a great example of why you want to keep showing up each day. You want to keep putting more and more value into your ecosystem. You want to keep inviting people to step forward. You want to give people the room to make their own decisions and to consume and to think. You don't want to be a dickhead if someone says no or somebody ghosts you. Like, they've got stuff going on, and their timeline is such a critical part of making all of this happen. And you just want to nudge your business forward each day and build up that pipeline, because people will then tip in on their own accord. Okay. And so I've just mapped out for you the journey of this person, just because it was a really, really interesting one. All right. So let's walk through this. 12th of January this year. Okay. They enter the top of the funnel 100% cold. So what this is telling me is that on the 12th of January, they've opted in for one of my lead magnet funnels that I was running ads to at the time. I'm not running ads to it at the moment. I've got a couple of other things I'm scaling, but I was running ads to this at the time, and it's called the 8-word nuclear DM. Okay. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. So this is it here. So this is a DM script for reactivating leads who have ghosted you, right? People really like this as a freebie because it's quick, it's fast, they can use it immediately. And so what happens when someone opts in for this. They put their details in. They then get presented with a low ticket offer. All right, this $50 offer, and this is a Google Doc template for getting clients without calls. Right, and so what you can see here is 12th of January. This person has purchased the $50 offer, the template, and then they've also taken the order form bump. So if you click here, $27 ad. Okay, so they spent $77 on the 12th of January. Right, then time has gone on, and when you're putting volume into these offers, you can't hold everybody's hand through the process. It just doesn't work. So they've purchased it. Then nothing happened really until the 4th of March. And they sent an email. They said, "This is great. Thanks so much, Jacob. I'm using this now to write out my updated group coaching program. Goodbye, sales calls." Okay, so that's nearly 2 months later, right? Just short of 8 days short of 2 months later, which is cool, right? Like people, this is what you got to realize when it comes to selling and marketing this stuff. People are very, very busy. Life is very chaotic these days, and there is a lot of noise on the internet. Okay, and so your best bet is just to continue to show up and deliver value, and be there when the timing is right for your prospect. Okay, this is a key part of my content system that I call, and same applies to ads, that I call engineering the moment. We create content about who we are, our philosophies, our views, our beliefs, our values as a leader, as a brand, and we create content about what we do. This is our methods, our systems, our frameworks, our strategies, our tactics, our results that we help people get, that we've got for ourselves. They're two key elements. And then the third element is the buyer's journey and their timing, the problems that they've got, when they want to solve these problems. And the only way that it works is when we get the intersection of those three things. Okay, now 2 of those we can control through our content, through our ads. We can educate people on who we are and what we do. We can't control the timeline of the buyer. We can't control the timeline of the lead. All we can do is continue to show up, is get better and better at what we do, become a better and better leader, increase the value of our offerings, put out more and more valuable content, such that when the timing lines up, they're moving along in time, we're moving along in time. When those two timelines line up, we're the only option, and we're the most suitable option, right? And we're the person that wasn't an idiot to them when they ghosted us or they said no, and we didn't try and twist their arm. We said, no worries, go take your time and think about it. And then they came back, and now they're ready and they move forward. Okay. And so this message got sent on the 4th of March, right? I replied, I said, that's great. Then again, nothing happened until the 14th of June. Okay, and so what this tells me here is that this person has been reactivated by one of my remarketing ads that's sending them to my playbook. Okay, and the playbook is this. I'll put links to this stuff below so that you can check it out. This is a 22-page breakdown of my lifestyle business model, right? And I go through all of the different elements that ultimately make up the model, different traffic strategies that we're using, the funnels, how we play with emails and YouTube, how that ultimately generates us leads, building out a signature offer, and how the system all feeds back on itself. It's a really, really high value, free lead magnet that sits out in my ecosystem organically, but I also run remarketing ads too, because it's a great way to bring people back into the fold. And so this person has been reactivated on the 14th of June by this lead magnet. Okay. Now, when anybody joins my email list, either via a low ticket offer or via a lead magnet, they go into a master 14-day welcome sequence. Okay. Now, this master 14-day email welcome sequence excludes them from my daily broadcast. So they're not, I send a daily email, either with a story, a tip, a YouTube video, a call to action, whatever. But while they're in this 14-day sequence, they don't get those. Okay, this is like everybody goes through this path. Some people opt out during this path, and then after the 14 days, then they drop into kind of the main email bucket, right? Now, while in this 14-day sequence, this person has received one of these emails. I've got one in here about offers and how most people's offer is causing a big problem in their business, structurally, the hook, the angle, how they're selling it, all these elements around offers that are causing people problems. And so this person, right, 9 days after opting in and being reactivated, keep in mind they were a buyer back in January, being reactivated, they requested the details for the Lifestyle Business Academy. All right, sent them over same day. And then this morning, they jumped in on their own accord while I was on that call, got off the call and saw that they'd joined. Okay. And so I wanted to show you this because I want to kind of debunk the myth that everyone buys quickly and that if someone doesn't buy now, they're never going to buy. I firmly believe that we're in a market where you need to focus on building a high value ecosystem that grows on autopilot every day, that nurtures people in multiple different ways. And so you can see here, this person came through one lead magnet, then they purchased a low ticket offer, right? They took some time, then they started using it. Then they were reactivated by a different lead magnet. Then an automated email sequence ultimately got them to reach out. And then another week or so later, they ultimately jumped in. Okay, this is the consumption effect. This is the reactivation effect that we ultimately want to be moving. Now, here's the really cool thing. All of this happened without me doing anything until they actually reached out about the offer, right? I wasn't chasing them. I wasn't, following up a million times on Messenger. I wasn't bothering them. These are all systems and processes and funnels and automations that are very, very simple to set up. And once they're set up once, they just run and run and run and run. Okay. And it's for that reason where we're using these higher forms of leverage instead of hiring setters and closers and people to chase people around the internet all day, that I don't really care if someone takes 6 months to join, right? I want them, in fact, to take every single minute, hour, day that they need in order to make the right decision, because that is what makes the best clients on the other side. If they join a moment too soon, delivery becomes a lot more stressful for both parties. Okay. And does that leave some money on the table in the short term? Yeah, it does. But personally, I've been very fortunate in how this business has served me, and I have no interest in selling to people who aren't ready to move forward and start implementing right away. It is just not worth the operational drag. It is not worth the stress. It's just not fun. Right? And I would encourage you to build your business because it will make you a hell of a lot more money in the long run. Okay. So that was just a little case study of someone who came through, took them nearly 6 months to jump in, which is amazing because that is clearly the amount of time that they needed. And I think it's cool to dissect the process that somebody goes through, the different touch points, and so that you can see sometimes it takes 24 hours. I had someone join, I think it was the week before last, off the back of the first email in that automation sequence, the first time that they opted in and joined my list. So sometimes they join on the first email, sometimes they join the list a couple of times, and it's the 8th email, right? It doesn't matter. It's running 24/7, whether I'm in the office, whether I'm traveling, whether I'm with the kids, whether I'm working with another client. It doesn't matter. Right? It literally doesn't matter. These are the highest forms of leverage that you can achieve. I'm not paying someone to chase them around the internet. We've built systems that capture, that reactivate, that educate, that drive consumption. And if you want to model all this, you can get access to the full operating system inside my Lifestyle Business Academy. It's linked below, all the details. But reflect on this. And I would highly recommend that whether we do work together or not, you focus on building up your ecosystem, that it allows people to consume and move forward at their own time. And if you set it up the right way, you can achieve that. I appreciate you hanging out with me in this one. Cheers.